Hello and welcome everyone to today's video. So as you can see, we have two Strixhaven pre-release kits to open today. So we are going to start with our Silverquill pre-release pack and see how well we do. So let's get that open there and see how well we crack into this box. So I always like when they have these, in this case, schools or guilds or whatever you call it, because then you get these really cool themes boxes. And I know Wizards of the Coast tried doing these a few times with like core sets and stuff, but it's really not the same, you know, if the theme from the set itself doesn't lend itself to having guilds or shards or whatever you want to have, cons even. You know, you really need the set to have these kind of multicolored themes to really be able to do these pre-release kits like this beyond just the regular ones, right? So I'm glad they were able to go back for this particular set release. So we get Rush Rebirth is our pre-release card, and you notice that the stamp on this one's different now. Now it just has the date rather than the year, sorry, rather than the full date. And then we get our, oh, and there's the die. So let's see the 20, yeah, so it has the Silverquill logo for the die, which is pretty cool. It makes it nice and unique. And it looks like we get a seeded pack, so we get 5 regular packs and then 1 seeded pack, which is awesome for playing in pre-release events, just because you give a much larger chance of being able to actually play the school that you want. Of course, you can always still get like rares and mythic rares and such in your packs that won't correspond to your school, so you might have to end up splashing or play. Sometimes I know sometimes I play like an entirely different color pair based on what I got. So these are, I'm assuming these are going to appear in all the decks, or at least a subset of cards. I do like the Inkling creature tokens, and the art on that looks really cool. Star People. So yeah, a lot of the names on these are pretty funny. So these are just kind of your basic cards, just to be able to have enough cards to guarantee you'll be able to play this color combination. So here's Zephyr Boots. So it gives equipped creature flying, and it deals con damage to a player, draw a card, then discard a card. So not too bad for 1 mana and 2 to equip. The Apprentice, nice. So Magecraft seems quite strong, and a lot of the if your colors can support it, right? And then our rare is Silverquill Command, so not too bad. Seems like it'd be okay in limited. Be able to either draw a card, make them lose a creature, or give a creature +3/+3 and flying. And we get our cool Inkling token, so I love that the token on that. And we get 2. And then the back is we get a Pest and a Spirit. So pretty cool with that. And then we get our double face card. So that was our seeded packs. So let's see what we get in our regular packs. We get a Torn. Yeah, these packs are a little bit tear a little bit easy. Now I will say the card stock on these, it feels pretty good. The cards move pretty well. So I like that aspect of it, and it seems like they're quite nice to move. Nice, we got my thumb out of the way. There we go. Yeah. So I don't have a lot to say about a lot of cards in this set. You know, a lot of them are Magecraft, spells, incense. You know, a lot of the cool stuff. I like the art on that one though. The tenured Inkcaster, very nice. A lot of the themes. This is based around, obviously being a school based. Okay, so here we go. So we get Prismari Command. So there's a second command, and funny enough, shares none of the colors with our school and our. So we get Ephemerate as our Mystical Archive card. So kind of cool. Funny that it just came out in Modern Horizons, and now it's being reprinted in this awesome art. And then we get a Luca Wayward Bounder emblem. So there you go. That is our first pack. So I did open up a couple of the prize packs that I got already, and it looks like there is a slot for the lessons that potentially can have a rare in it. Ooh, I like the art on the Witherbloom Pledge Mage. That's cool. I mean, one thing that's nice that you do get regular packs is if you did end up with like a kit, let's say you're pre-release, you're playing one of the last events or whatever, and they don't have all the color or schools left. You could potentially still play another color, even though it's not one you maybe have wanted. Deadly Brew. It sounds like a name that should have already existed for a card before. Ooh, necrotic fumes. The art, I will say the art is beautiful on some of these cards, especially the Witherbloom cards with the green and black. And then we get up with double major. So copy target creature spell you control, except it isn't legendary. If that spell is legendary. So nice, works with any creature. And we get a Revitalize. So one of the, let's say, weaker white mystical archive cards. I don't think any of the standard playable ones, being the uncommons, are good. Let me just put it that way. I think they're all like revitalized quality because they really didn't have many options, which just speaks to white in general, right? In standard last few years, that they couldn't really muster anything great. And that Revitalize is one of the top cards. Ooh, Containment Breach. That's a cool name. It looks like you get a pest token if it's cheaper too. Nice. Academic Dispute. Again, one of those cool names. Maelstrom Muse. So, a Djinn, a wizard. Then we get Auric, Lore Mage is our rare. So search the library for a card, put it in your graveyard, then shuffle. If an instant or sorcery card, put lore counter. Okay, so it's like an entomb essentially. That's like nice. That's nice. I like that. I guess I should separate my rares out. And we get Increasing Vengeance. So another one of the rare, or mythic rare, I should say, Mystical Archives. Yeah, not a. I don't know if I've ever even played this card, so it's a strange one, that's for sure. And then we get a foil Study Break. So let me just break these down. Ooh, and the fractal token's very nice. So actually, let me just break down our rare so we can kind of do a tally here at the end. So we got that Revitalize. And I get Prismari, Ephemerate. So I'm interested to see what the rate is for rares versus mythic and uncommons in the Mystical Archive. I haven't looked up to see what the ratio is, or the expected number is, but I would imagine it's probably noticeable. So a lot of these cards, if you actually want to play them, you know, you're looking, in this case, you're looking just for basically the Mystical Archive art, right? You're not looking for get a copy of the card, because obviously you can get stuff like Brainstorm a lot easier. Okay, so here's our rare basic Conjuration. So I think that's a lesson rare. So yeah, it's kind of weird how it appears in the middle of the pack. Kind of throws you off a little bit. Shadewing Laureate. That is a really odd mana cost. Usually you don't see mana symbols along with hybrid mana, so that's kind of cool that they started doing that. Though I could see it being kind of odd for new players, or if you're not really paying attention and you know, tap your mana wrong. You're playing limited maybe. Professor of Symbology. So it's a nice 2/1 that learns. And we get our actual rare, Elemental Expressionist. So a lot of text boxes like on all these cards. And we get a Strategic Planning. So a very nice looking card. And a Fractal. So you kind of lucked out if any of the Mystical Archives you want are standard legal, because that means they're going to be uncommon. So a card like Strategic Planning might have been a rare before if it hadn't been recently printed. Though it did receive a lot of hype. I know for a while there, I think it was Legacy that it was seen playing, and you know, people were talking about that card because it was, I think originally it was a Portal 3 Kingdoms, I believe, that it was originally printed in, and then it got printed in Amonkhet block, and you kind of saw some fringe play, and it kind of came back down to earth in terms of how good it actually was. But it's cool to see that it got a Mystical Archive print. Solve the equation. Search the library for instant or sorcery card, reel it, put it into your hand, show it in the library. That's a cool card. I like that effect. Return Past Caller. A lot of owls in this set. Master Symmetrist, and I wonder why. Yeah, that's not bad for an uncommon. Pretty solid card. And we get a Snarl as our rare. So this is the Flying Glimmer. So it looks like we hit everything, a lot of cards that aren't quite in our colors. And a God's Willing. So that's cool. I love that art with the knight and then the hands going from the side. So that's pretty cool to see. Along with a foil Shadewing Laureate. So we ended up getting 2 foils, commons, an uncommon and a common. And then for our rares, we end up with Silverquill Command, which was seeded. But other than that, we hit one other black or white card. So And even our, I forgot even our release card wasn't even in our, that is weird that it wasn't in our colors. I just assumed it was the Witherbloom. I just assumed it was in the, like the Witherbloom deck. I don't know, I just kind of forgot. So really, our rares are not pointing towards us playing Silverquill at all. In fact, if you look at it, we're more incentivized to look at some combination of almost like a teamer combination with all these cards, you know, given, you know, looking to see if they're any good or not. So that is certainly a drawback to that. Though I like that you get to play with the Mystical Archive cards. So if you do hit one of those juice, you know, the spicy ones, you get something, you know, pretty cool to play with. I mean, I don't think any of the ones we pulled are going to be, you know, scaring anyone, but it's cool though. It reminds me a little bit like the Time Spiral stuff, where you can get cards that you know, maybe didn't expect to be in the set if you weren't, you know, dedicatedly looking at the spoilers. You'd be surprised to see some cards you never knew what could pop up. So that was the Silverquill pre-release kit, or the, I guess, Teamer pre-release kit. So let's see how the Witherbloom. Maybe we'll get a Silverquill promo in that box, and all will be right in the world. That is weird because I don't know. I think they used to be set the rare you got, or it was, or for a while there, I think it was guaranteed to be in the colors that you wanted. So I don't know if this is a change that they recently did. Ooh, I do love that die though. That is a really sharp looking die, and then you can see the Witherbloom logo right there. So pretty sweet. All right, so we end up with a double major as our, at least it's in one of the colors, so just like the other pack. So still odd not to get a card from your school though. You'd think that would be kind of a guarantee, right? I'll leave that up there. All right, so let's see how our pack goes. Ooh, Pet Summoning, I like that. That's a solid one. A bunch of these we saw in the other set pack too. Ooh, Go Blank. So this is the one that has a little bit of an upside of your regular Mind Rot. And I know Flunk, I think, was in the other one too. Ooh, we get Dina Soul Steeper. Very nice, with all the cards that incidentally gain you life. And we get Witherbloom Command. So I don't know, are you supposed to get a command in every one of these seeded packs, but that's pretty sick. And then we get a Fractal token, another Inkling, and a double face card. Modular, however you want to talk about the fancy MDFC, I think is the correct term. Modular double face card. All right, so here we go, pack number 1 of the Witherbloom pre-release kit. Okay. Ooh, Lorehold Excavation. Well, it's like the art and the look of it. Mercurial Transformation. Ooh, fancy. All right, and we get a Mythic Magma Opus. So this is a pretty expensive spell, and it does a bunch of stuff. And then you can pitch it if you want to make a treasure. Whoops. All right, and then we end up with a Thrill of Possibility. So our standard red draw spell card. Not bad. I like that it's the instant one. Slide this over here. And we get a foil Vilda, Dean of Perfection. So you can see the very nice double facedness of this card. And we get Nasiri, Dean of Expression. So that's pretty cool. The only thing I don't like about the Deans is that, you know, if you're playing Commander, you can only have one Dean in play at a time, which, you know, if you're playing obviously any other 60 card format, you can clearly, you know, play two, you know, draw both copies or multiple copies of the cards and play both sides. So this is kind of rough from a, I guess, like a flavor perspective. You can't have both Deans in at the same time. So maybe that's by design. Oh, Pest Thumbing. Spell Satchel. Eye Twitch. So this is a pretty cool looking bat. And it's an interesting effect when it dies, you get to learn. All right, Symmetry Sage, little 0-2, nice little power for Magecraft. And we get Sparring Regimen, so enters the battlefield, learn. So it's an enchantment, and when you whenever you attack, put a +1 counter on target attacking creature, untap it. So it looks like it's got a couple nice come to play effect, and then a nice little bonus for attacking. And we get a shock. So that's a nice one. So we did point out that you do get shock and, ooh, in the pesto. You do get shock and lightning bolt in the Mystical Archive, which I understand being like, kind of not understanding why you put both those in there until you figure out what the point of the uncommons is to be the standard versions. So even though shock is strictly worse than lightning bolt, it is a good inclusion if you want to, if you're playing for standard decks and stuff, to get a nice cool version of it. All right, ooh, Overgrown Arch. And it's no Overgrown Battlement, so that's the ultimate wall. And we get Leonin Light Scribe. So it would have been great in the other deck, but still a solid card though. I think giving your creatures +1/+1, sorry, is really great, especially if it's, in combat you attack, and I mean, it turns every combat trick into an extra little bit of magic on it. And we get a Cultivate. So that's very interesting, having the like the sun petal in the background there, the sunflower, and then have the gentleman with the sickle in the foreground. And we get a rare of Poet's Quill. So at least it's looks like it's pretty decent. It's another one of these cards that triggers when you learn. When it enters the battlefield, sorry, you get to learn, and then you get +1/+1 lifelink. So that seems pretty good. I like that. That'll probably be going in the deck. And the dredge card here, 3-Line Discovery. A little bit of dredge action. Oh, I do like the art on the Spectacle Mage. The Bird Shaman, very nicely done. All right, so we get a clever Luminancer. Very nicely done. We get Zamon, Quantix Prodigy. So I don't know if this card is any good, but the art looked cool. And we get Vanishing Verse, so one of the removal spells from the set. So I know that there's a bunch of solid ones in the set, and I think this is probably one of the better ones. So exiles target monocolored permanent. So very very nice and clean for only 2 mana. And we get a Mizzix Mastery. There it is in all of its glory. So we've hit a lot of red cards in these Mystical Archives, but this is I think this is an interesting one. I don't know if it's going to be any good. It's kind of like your reanimation spell for spells, so we'll see how well it ends up doing. And we get Infused with Vitality. So this one's pretty sick. Returns a creature, gives a creature death touch, and then when it dies, returns the battlefield tapped, and then you gain 2 life. So it's a gift that keeps on giving, along with this cool looking treasure token. So yeah, I think Infused with the Vitality is pretty good. Essentially, it's a removal spell with life gain attached to it. Plus, you get any enters the battlefield effect. So a lot going on with that card. And then our last pack. Ooh, Quintorius Field Historian. We get Reflective Golem. And we get Demogoth Titan. So look at that, at 11/10, when it attacks or blocks, sacrifice a creature. So this is a very like Shadowmoor, Eventide kind of feel to it, where you had these giant hybrid mana cards like this. I like it, it's a very nice throwback. And we get an Eliminate. So pretty solid standard playable removal spell to go along with that. So that is it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed seeing me crack open these 2 pre-release kits. And again, we got a couple cards at least that are in our colors for our deck. I mean, we're definitely going to be playing the Titan in our deck. That's a gimme, very much a gimme. And then the Poet's Quill is pretty sweet. So I think we did a little bit better in this deck, getting some more playable cards, at least in the rares. So thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. Bye.